What's Barack Obama's foreign policy mantra? Well, to quote him, it's "don't do stupid stuff." That's what he says. Well, according to Hillary Clinton and many others, that's not much of a principle. The former Secretary of State recently criticized Obama's foreign policy in an interview with The Atlantic magazine. The interview comes as Americans' opinion of how Obama handles international crises continues to sink. Well, according to a recent Wall Street Journal NBC News poll, 60% of Americans polled disapprove of Obama's foreign policy, while a meager 36% approve. But what a joke. It was Clinton herself who was the chief architect of Obama's foreign policy for 4 years. National Review News editor Tim Kavanaugh joins us from Washington. Welcome to the show. I think it's a bit rich for Hillary Clinton to criticize the man with whom she worked with in a true partnership fashion for 4 years. In fact, I'd say she was more hands-on in foreign policy. He was rather disinterested. She's criticizing her own track record, trying to shape herself up for the next election, isn't she?
Yes, and I mean, it's Hillary's in the position of the fish in the Chinese proverb, who's just going to keep flopping because not expecting that the other position is going to be any better, but just knowing that the current position is intolerable. She's really, what's she going to do now? Say, oh, I didn't have anything to do with anything that happened in the State Department on Obama's watch. That seems to be her MO, and her supporters are all forgiving, so maybe it'll work for them. I don't think it's going to work for a majority of American voters.
In her autobiography, her latest version of her autobiography, there's this picture near the back of the book of her sitting down with one of the leaders of the Muslim Brotherhood, Mohammed Morsi, who was briefly, here it is, there's a picture on the screen, the president of Egypt in that disastrous run. She says, negotiating with Egyptian President Mohammed Morsi to talk about an enduring ceasefire with Hamas, for that to come out right before the Hamas-Israel war, and when Hamas has been labeled a terrorist, the Muslim Brotherhood has been labeled a terrorist organization in Egypt, shows just how deeply she was in the worst decisions of the administration.
Yeah, I mean, I hesitate to blame it all on Hillary or all on Obama even. I mean, everything in foreign policy has been such a disaster for a good 15 years now that, there's sort of, you're in this trap. Like, you can say whatever you want, but history's going to keep happening and keep proving you wrong. What bugs me in what Hillary is saying now is this whole thing, like, this is proof, what's happening with ISIS or ISIL right now is proof that we should have done more to help these same people in Syria against Bashar Assad. I mean, she has this idea that, oh yeah, there were these moderates. There are always these chimerical moderates that Hillary Clinton believes in, that John McCain believes in, that somehow when we give weapons and assistance to the rebels in Syria, it's not going to end up in the hands of these exact same people. The problem is American foreign policy is completely in the hands of people who want to keep making the exact same mistakes that caused this situation in the first place.
Well, I mean, I want to get back to that Obama quote that I mentioned at the top of our segment, don't do things that are dumb. Don't do dumb things. I mean, that sounds like something a first-year university student might say before the professor says, well, exactly, but the hard part is figuring out what is the dumb thing not to do. You've got Bashar Assad, who's a butcher. You've got the al-Qaeda affiliates against him. What's the dumb thing? You want to bring Americans home from Iraq, but you don't want to hand it over to Iran and ISIS. What's the dumb? So, but you're right to say it's not any one person. It's all of them. I think of Jen Psaki, the spokesman of the State Department, who came up with holding up cards with "Bring Back Our Girls," like hashtags. I don't think any of them actually know what a strategy is. I think they think low information sound bites like "don't do dumb things." I think that they think that is strategy. Don't you think?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, yes. Stupid slogans. I mean, they're all trying to get back to the 1992 James Carville sweet spot with "It's the economy, stupid." But you can say it's the economy, stupid, when you're not in power and you're not, and your only job is to keep reminding Americans the economy stinks. Then that works as a soundbite. It doesn't work now for the same reason that hashtags don't work. Hashtags are what people should be doing when they're out of power and they're trying to remind the people in power that you need to do something for us. Whether we should be getting back the girls or whatever, but in this case, these are the people who have responsibility, and it's just. I don't believe much in the dignity of the office of the president or anything like that. You know, I think the problem with the president, you know, telling you what TV shows he likes and all that, I think that's a problem for TV more than for the president, because I like TV and I don't like presidents. But in this case, I mean, I do sort of start to feel like, you know, this is really not worthy of this office. It's really undignified to be talking this way. Don't do stupid stuff, or they actually use a cuss word when they're speaking privately. Is you know, it's nothing. It's really nothing glorified.
Now, let me ask you this: a few token attacks here and there. I think Valerie Jarrett had some snap polls that showed he had to do something, but I mean, that's not going to stop the massacre of Christians and Yazidis, and frankly, if they could, of the Jews.
They don't care about the massacre of Christians.
Yeah.
They don't care about the massacre of Christians. You know, one thing they can all agree on is they all have nothing but contempt for Arab Christians. And, you know, and the only people we're hearing about are these Yazidis who have not even been suffering at the extent that the Christians have, they've been shunted over to the UN or whatever. I mean, and again, I'm not going to blame this all on Obama. If you want to help the Arab Christians, there are a couple of things you can do. First one is get in a time machine, go back to 2003, and leave Saddam in place in Iraq. And the second thing you can do is go to 2011 and give Bashar Assad whatever he needs to wipe out his own rebels. These are not nice guys. I don't like either of them, but they do a better job of protecting the Christians than we have done.
That's a terrifying but true statement. Tim Kavanagh, National Review, thanks for joining us today. We'll talk to you again soon, I hope.